Jason Newstead is on with us. Good morning, my man. How are you?
What's happening, y'all?
Hey, man. So you have put out this 4-song EP. How long has this incarnation of your solo project been together? Is this a new thing? Have you been together with guys for a while, or what's the backstory on it?
It's a fairly new thing as far as this focus on these songs. I've been playing with the other musicians for, the drummer for about 11 or 12 years, Jesus Mendez Jr., and the guitar player for about 5 years. The trio has been together for 5 years, doing our kind of improvisational slabs of metal in the Chop House studio. But since August of last year, had the nose to the stone and getting these songs together. I composed them all on my GarageBand iPad deal, and then I on all the tracks and wrote them all on guitar and stuff, and then fed them to my boys, and they came back and spit them out to have the metal EP that you have now.
So you wrote pretty much every note of every instrument on this thing?
Basically, the initial ideas, I wrote all the instruments top to bottom, lead vocal, all the lyrics, everything, and then my boys came in and did their thing on it, yes.
Is it tough being you're a bass player? Is it tough being, and apparently you're talented at other instruments as well. Did you ever have like a lead singer of a band like Metallica, which you were in for 15 years? They always get the most focus, the most attention for the most part.
Uh-huh.
Although in Metallica, I guess you could say Lars gets maybe even more so, which is unusual. Did that ever bother you? Did you ever wish that you were? Did you ever want to be a front man?
Always wanted to be a front man. I started in Flotsam, early Flotsam, as the front man. I started playing bass and singing lead in the very beginning of stages of that band. And I've always sang along with my bass in all bands, whether it's background or, a couple of leads here and there in Metallica. But when you have something so well put together and everybody realizes their role so efficiently, as it were, so strongly, Hetfield, pretty much untouchable. You let him get up there and do his thing. I would support him with his songs and do his thing no matter what and come up with and do what I do. So that was my role that I played in that band. I loved when I got up on the mic and did my thing, but I tell you, there was a couple of shows when James got hurt and I had to take over the front man spot in the band and sing through the songs and everything. That's not for everyone. And it wasn't for me. It's a very, very tough, high-responsibility kind of thing. In this band, however, these are my songs from the ground up, and I'm far more comfortable these days playing and singing. I've been working on it for a long, long time. So playing guitar and bass in this band on the records and live. I recorded most of the rhythm guitars on the record, most of the bass, and sang everything. And we switch instruments live and in the studio.
Jason Newstead is on with us, his 4-song EP. It's called Metal. You can get it on iTunes right now. When people come up to you, which is, I'm sure, when you're out, people must come up pretty frequently. What do people what do people ask you about the most, Jason?
They mostly show respect to begin with, and then they'll just say, have you talked to the guys? Have you seen the guys? That kind of thing. That's usually what takes place. But it's 99.7% positive, respectful actions.
And I guess to answer that question, do you have much contact with the guys from Metallica these days?
I haven't seen them in person since we did the 30th reunion thing, but we still do stay in contact and text Lars every once in a while. We are business partners for the rest of our lives, all that stuff, So that we keep track of each other, and when decisions have to be made, if there are ones that involve me, then I'm there.
Was there any, I read that you had no regrets leaving Metallica. You've said that before. But was there an adjustment period that you had to go through? I'm imagining it's kind of like some of these star athletes, these football players who, they're exalted and people are fawning over every play and every word, and then they get older and they retire, and now they're sitting at home watching TV, and it's incredibly tough to adjust to. What was it like for you leaving Metallica?
Let's see, what day is it right now? I got over it last Tuesday. It was Tuesday, January 8th, 2013, when the Newstead Metal EP debuted at #1 on the iTunes Metal charts. That's the day that I finally got over it. It's been levels of craziness and, things like that over time. Of course, the first 6 months after I left the band, trauma, absolutely, for everyone. I was already doing Echo Brain, and I had joined Voivod pretty quickly after that, and I was in Ozzy's band by '03, and it moved pretty quick. But there was always sadness. There has to be. I gave up on a dream, but I had to. And so since that time, I got to live 2 other dreams by being in Ozzy's band and being in Voivod, and now I'm working on my 4th one with this band, so it's all good. And regret-wise, no, I don't really think it's regret like that. You got to move forward. I don't have any kind of misgivings about what has happened. I'm very proud of everything that we've done. I don't think anybody will ever top what we've done in the genre we've done it. So that's what it is. I don't plan on climbing any of those as high on any of those same mountains. I'm not fooling myself about any of that kind of stuff. It's just it was what was supposed to happen, and it's a very good thing now. It's all positive now.
What's your when you look out at the landscape of music, aside from what you're doing, what's your impression of the current state of rock and or metal?
I think metal is alive and well and possibly making a resurgence like never before. I've had for a long time a theory about a 22-year cycle. If you look back at our style of music and you go 22 years, actually with any style of modern music or pop or blues or anything that blues turned into hip-hop and so forth like this, if you go 22 years and 22 years, you'll see that it's time for the next 22-year cycle of heavy metal to rise. The Black Album was 1991. So it's time now again for this to happen. And
why do you think that is? Just that there's always an influx of new kids coming in that have never heard this, or haven't been exposed to a genre of music as much?
Exactly. It's generational cycling. Absolutely. Yep, that's what it is. And as you go around the world, now that the world has become bigger in a way and smaller in a way because of the Internet, able to connect with people that you never could before. I used to have to go there on foot. I used to have to go there and be pressing flesh and saying, hey, man, how you doing? What do you think of the music today? Whether we're, I got to play in between 40 and 50 countries with Metallica. I plan on going to at least that many. There's a lot more new places for me to take the westernized rock and roll again. Like, Metallica got to take a bunch of new places that never had that style of music before. Back in the day, we were ambassadors for the music. I still feel that. We've had that ability to do that. So as long as you keep chasing, it's going to come to you. I think it's healthy. I think there's some healthy spawn, what I call spawn, as far as Mastodon and The Sword and Red Fang. And there's some cool bands out there that are kicking butt. And from, like we took Black Sabbath and Motorhead as our teachers and made our music for what people like. These kids have taken our music, and they're a thing and making what they do now. So I'm proud of them for that, and it shows that there is hope. When
you go and you play, do you touch upon any Metallica stuff? Do you play any of that at all? And if not, are people, screaming out to play some?
Well, we haven't been out with the Newstead thing yet, and I do have some, what should we say? I have some ideas. I have a lot of stuff to choose from. Besides the metal songs, we wrote 11 songs with this trio together to share with people what we would live and what we're going to also recorded-wise. But I have many other bands to touch on that I've been in. So there's going to be a lot of cool features, and my word is entertainment. It will be heavy metal, old school heavy metal, but like straight entertainment, man, because there's a lot of things that people will be familiar with as it comes at them.
Jason, good luck with this new project. NewstedHeavyMetal.com is the website address, and Metal is a 4-song EP. It's available on iTunes right now. I wish you luck, my man.
I appreciate it, and I'm on Facebook, Jason Newstead. I go on there 90 minutes every day to talk to the people, so if you want to send me some love, some positive energy, I'll get back to you eventually. I catch up with all of it, and thanks for the help over there, you guys, and keep an eye out for the metal. We're coming.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, Jason Newstead.